Good morning. Welcome to the Appropriations Committee. This is a voting session. Today is April 2nd, and I am Delegate Maggie McIntosh, Chair of Appropriations. I'm here with the Vice Chair, Delegate Mark Chang, and members of the committee. We have a fairly full voting list today of bills. And then we also have some concurrences. So why don't we take the concurrences first, and we'll start with House Bill 1301. Delegate Barnes.
Madam Chair, Delegate Barnes is not logged on yet.
I'll be darned. How about Delegate Hayes, House Bill 133?
Delegate Haynes here, logged on, ready to go, Madam Chair. Good morning.
Good morning.
House Bill 133 has two amendments. Amendment number 1 is technical. Amendment number 2 conforms the bill to the Senate cross-file by adding provisions that change the type of appropriation eligible for reduction by the governor. It just changes it from appropriation, total appropriation, to the new change, which was added by the Senate to read legislative appropriation. Move to concur, Madam Chair.
Okay, any questions on the amendments? Seeing none. We have a motion to concur on House Bill 133 on the Senate amendments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? I see none. Okay, Delegate Bridges, are you here? We have House Bill 1336.
I am here, Madam Chair. House Bill 1336 also has two amendments. One is technical. The other conforms the bill to the Senate cross-file by adding provisions that require the state retirement agency to report on immediate vesting for other positions in state governments, just a report to the Joint Committee on Pensions.
Right.
So with that, I'd move to concur, Madam Chair.
Okay, there's a motion to concur. I second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Oops, is Delegate Barnes here yet? Yes, he is. All right, Delegate Barnes, why don't we do the three bills? Let's start with House Bill 1301, if you would. Visit Baltimore.
Well, I'm on a voting session. Sorry, Steph. I'll get you in 2 minutes. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Let's start with House Bill 1301, which is a concurrence.
Yep.
We're
So we're going to move to concur the amendments. Number 1 was technical. Number 2 conforms the bill to the Senate cross-file by requiring the annual appropriation to visit Baltimore to be calculated based on the average of the actual hotel room receipts. This is the intent. I think we actually just did the incorrect amendment. So this was the intent as explained to the House all along. This bill passed unanimously.
Right. Very good. Okay. So on the motion to concur, we have a motion and I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Seeing none. All right, House Bill 887.
There's also going to be a motion to concur. There were 2 Senate amendments. 1 is technical. 2 conforms the bill to the Senate by making, again, a technical change. Move to concur.
Okay, I second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, and then House Bill 1365.
Madam Chair, I think Delegate Novotny wants to be recorded in opposition for House Bill 887.
I'm very sorry.
Yes,
Anybody
ma'am.
else?
Sorry, I'll stay on that.
And anybody else? Okay, very good. Thank you, Delegate
but Bites will
Novotny. I
also.
apologize. All right,
Bites will
we'll now
also,
move
please.
to House, huh?
Bites will also, please.
Bites will also, please. All right.
Yeah.
My apologies. I
Sorry,
moved
Madam Chair.
fast.
That's all right.
I was a no on this as well from before. Sorry about that.
All right. Why don't we put our
I'm
hands
trying-
up, okay?
We're
got
trying
it.
to follow on these and it's going a little fast, so. Give
Okay,
it-
all right. We
Thanks.
got Novotny as a no. We have Beitzel as a no, and who else? Mangione and Greist.
Madam
Any other
Chair, I would
no's?
just point out that 6 people were in the no's when this bill passed our committee before.
Right, that's
Right.
why,
Just wanted to make that point.
All right. I see 3. Novotny, Greist, Mangione.
Beitzel.
And
Beitzel,
Beitzel.
Beitzel.
Beitzel, 4. Beitzel, find that little yellow hand there. And
Yeah.
Metzger. All right, you guys, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, we're gonna close it out. Metzger's a no also. All right. Where was I? House Bill 1365.
There was a Senate amendment which required the fiscal 23 appropriations be from the unexpended appropriations. So they had a balance here. Saying the first
Okay.
money you use to spend on this is out of the balance. Move to concur.
Okay. So it's a motion to concur. Pardon me? Motion
Somebody
to
just buzzing
concur
in.
in a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, put your hands up. Okay, very good. Those are that's a concurrence calendar. Now we're going to move to bills. We have the first 2 bills on our list today, House Bill 310 and Senate Bill 323, basically are the same. Am I correct, Michelle?
You have amendments to House Bill 310, which would make it look the same as Senate Bill 323. So those amendments were offered by the House sponsor, which would clarify the types of organizations that can apply, which would remove the match requirement, and would also require a letter of support from the state senator or delegate representing the area of the project. There's one additional amendment to House Bill 310, which would change the mandate from FY23 to FY24. So instead it'd be FY24 through 29 for the program.
Okay, and that last change, by the way, was part of our agreement with the governor's office on the budget supplemental to make sure that we moved out any mandates a year. Just FYI, we've had this bill, the Maryland Arts Capital Grant Program, for the last couple of years. And this year in particular, I think it's a pretty important bill actually to get passed. It provides arts capital grants to small arts organizations around the state. It does require, the senator or a delegate from the area to write a letter of support as a part of their application. They would apply to the Maryland Arts Council, just like we have set up that program in the Department of Commerce for other arts organizations to get operating money. And so they would administer the program. It's a capital program, just as they do the operating money for arts programs. The reason I think it's important this year, I've always supported it. In fact, I think so many years ago, I don't know how many, it started out being my bill, but it has changed over the period of years, and I think it's changed for the better. It focuses on smaller arts organizations, not the big ones like BMA or the Symphony or some of the big theaters, Merriweather. It doesn't focus on the big ones. It focuses on smaller arts organizations that really are the backbone in many communities. And the reason I say it's so important this year, these are the small arts organizations that have suffered the most in this pandemic in terms of their ability to get back on their feet and get going. So I think this will be very helpful to them in the long run. We have a couple of questions. Delegate Beitzel, do you have a question?
yes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome.
My question was, you mentioned this, but focus on smaller organizations. We have an organization in Garrett County called Garrett Lakes Art Festival, and
Yeah.
we have like Music on the Mountain, which we bring in either Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, or we've been bringing
Wow.
Maryland Symphony most recently, and they've done a great job. Would that qualify them to just provide? Could they apply for
Yes.
help on those kind of things in Garrett County?
Yeah, particularly if you needed to build a riser or seating or something like that. It's capital money, but absolutely, this is who this is targeted to.
It is for capital money.
It's capital. This is a capital
Okay.
program.
So,
The
all right.
operating money, you might check with the Maryland Arts Council on whether or not they could actually operating money from the Maryland Arts Council.
Yeah, I think they've been getting some funding from them.
Good. But
Thank you,
this is the
Madam Chair.
capital. Same
All right, thank you.
organization under Commerce would oversee this. And I think they've done a great job of spreading the money out statewide. Delegate Haynes? Your hands up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Chair. I think the question Delegate Beitzel asked really sort of got to the crux of what I was going to ask. So, but this program, which I really want to comment on, that I think is absolutely much needed. I've talked to you about some of those needs in our smaller organizations, and this will go a long way, and I'm very appreciative of the initiative, Madam Chair. The only question I have is, one is not exclusive to the other. So a small community-based organization that needs both operating and some capital will be able to apply for both and not get penalized in any way, correct?
Absolutely.
I just want to be able to pass that along to the community. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's first vote on the amendments on House Bill 310. That basically conforms it to the Senate amendments, plus it moves out the mandate by a year or more. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to House Bill 310? I have Mangione and Novotny. Okay. Then on Senate Bill, thank you very much. On Senate Bill 323, the only amendment then is the change in the mandate.
Yes.
So on that amendment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed on the bill? Senate Bill 323 as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Same too. Thank you. Okay, let's move to Senate Bill 2. Delegate Corman, and were we the lead on this, Delegate Corman? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. SB 2 has one amendment, which is to remove the emergency designation for the effective date, which is something agreed upon with the governor's office. That was creating logistical problems to have an emergency bill date that the AG raised red flags on. So I'd move the amendment.
Okay, second. Any questions on the amendment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, Senate Bill as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I see none. Okay, Senate Bill 9. Oh,
Madam Chair,
yes. Delegate,
Senate Bill 9.
yeah,
I'm parked and ready to go. Senate
good.
Bill 9, Senator Kramer, is the state employees collective bargaining applicability for the University of Maryland bargaining process and memorandums of understanding. If you remember, this is the cross file to Delegate Solomon's bill, which we heard in committee. There are two amendments to do a number of things. Amendment number 1 is technical. Amendment number 2 provides that specified matters shall be included in the consolidated memorandum of understanding. The amendment also specifies that matters that may be negotiated at the local institution level and prohibits these matters from being included in consolidated memorandum in a memorandum. For a matter that is not specified and is particular to a local institution on mutual agreement and in writing, the matter is to be negotiated at the local level. Parties cannot agree. The matter shall be included in a consolidated memorandum. These came together from discussions with the members of the subcommittee as well as the advocates, and I would move the amendments.
Okay, any questions? Delegate Beitzel.
I just have a question on the bill. Well, there's a crossfire on this, correct?
Yes.
Delegate Solomon.
Delegate Solomon's bill?
Delegate Solomon's bill was the House cross-file. This is the Senate version.
Can you tell me what the vote was on committee on that?
We haven't voted it.
We haven't voted on Delegate Solomon. I was just letting you know this was, that we've heard Delegate Solomon's bill. We've heard this one. We just letting you know that we've heard it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And to be honest with you, we've been asking both parties, both sides to be meeting around Delegate Solomon's bill. Am I correct? And so there's been a series of meetings, and that's why we hadn't moved his bill, moved the Senate bill, and we're applying actually to the Senate bill the kinds of joint agreements that they had come up with I think one exception. All right, any other questions? All right, on the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed to the amendments? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, raise your hand. We have Metzger, Beitzel, Novotny, Mangione, Grist. Is that, 5 opposed. Okay. Very good. Senate Bill 30, Delegate Haynes.
Senate Bill 30.
Yeah, Senate Bill 30 is just the cross file of House Bill 133, which you just voted to concur on in the same exact posture.
I was just, excuse me, Madam Chair. I didn't know whether I was muted or not. Thank you, Michelle. It is the same bill, so I would move to concur with House Bill 133.
Second.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Mangione, Novotny. Okay. Senate Bill 60.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. This bill is the cross-file of House Bill 887 that the committee just concurred on. What it does is it allows the bond premiums from the annuity bond fund to also be used for capital projects. And the Senate bill is in the same posture as the House bill. Move to concur.
All right,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Okay. Delegate Barnes, Senate Bill 789.
This is the cross-file of 1301 that we just concurred with. Move favorable.
Okay, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Raise your hand. Okay, we now have Senate Bill 314, Board of Revenue. This is, we're jointly, we're not the lead, are we? No.
No, we're secondary.
All right, we're secondary. on 314 and 591. So Ken will explain each bill.
Thank you, Chair McIntosh. So Senate Bill 3314 is Board of Revenue Estimates and Bureau of Revenue Estimates Organization and Operations from Senators McCray and Elfreth. This is a cross file of HB 113 from Delegates Learman and Corman. It was voted favorable unanimously in Appropriations and 20-2 in Ways and Means. So this bill requires the Revenue Monitoring Committee and the Consensus Revenue Monitoring and Forecasting Group to review and evaluate candidates for BRE chief, add some requirements for transparency, and requires 2 additional analysts as well as the deputy chief. The Senate amendments require the Revenue Monitoring Committee to review the state revenue estimates before those estimates are adopted by BRE.
Okay. Any discussion? And this is favorable, so there's no amendments. Correct? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Raise your hand. All right, Senate Bill 591.
Okay, this also deals with the,
Wait a minute. Delegate Metzger, were you opposed? I can't hear you.
That was just an accident.
Oh, very good. All right. All right. Senate Bill 591, please.
all right, thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No worries. This is for the Bureau of Revenue Estimates, also for a tax incidence study. This is a cross file of HB 712 from Delegate Dana Jones. And Ways and Means voted this bill favorable with amendments 22-0. So this bill expands the scope of an existing tax incidence study that BRE already provides. So this just essentially just adds provisions that the state agencies involved in this tax study, that they provide information to BRE and that they cooperate with BRE. Just more or less a statement that that requires the agencies to make sure that they have full cooperation.
Good, very good. No amendments, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you very much. That concludes the bill hearing. I just wanted to tell the committee, or the bill voting session, I just want to tell the committee, all the members, that the Senate and House conferees did meet yesterday afternoon, and we have agreed on all of the items that we had differences in the operating budget. And I do want to say this to this committee. There's a longtime member, it's a senator who's a longtime member of the Appropriations Committee and is now on the Budget and Tax Committee, who I think almost her entire career served on, the appropriations or B&T, started out the meeting with asking me if I'd ever seen anything like this. In other words, the incredible opportunity we've had because of the $3.9 billion coming from the federal government to not only provide relief to Marylanders, but to provide a recovery act for Marylanders in our budget. I said no. And so it started a discussion where many long-term members of the financial committees basically said they'd never seen anything like it.
Right.
But I just want you to know what good work we all did on this committee and B&T set up a framework for not just this year and the year after for a real recovery in our economy with this budget. We're taking care of people who are still hurting, but we are absolutely replenishing every fund that we borrowed from CEF, Blueprint, Rainy Day Fund. We have more reserves today than we had in the budget that we took across the floor just a few weeks ago. So I just want to say to everybody on this committee, great work. You did wonderful work. And I see some hands up. I can almost bet what the questions are going to be, but I'm going to take them at this point in time. So thank you, everybody. Delegate Grice, you have a question?
I don't have a question actually, but I do want to concur with exactly what you were saying. This is my seventh session on appropriations, and we don't always agree on a lot of policy issues, but as far as the budget, it seems each and every year we do have a consensus, and and I genuinely want to, I'll call every one of you guys friends. So another great year. Thank you for that. But I actually did have one question, actually, if I could. But going back to our voting session, we had House Bill 887 and Senate Bill 60. I just want to make sure that our votes are consistent with those two. There were two cross-file bills. I just have to report to our caucus how we voted, and I was confused on Senate Bill 60. I just want to make sure that we were consistent on that.
Okay. Can you see me? Can you see me after this so that we make sure that we have the list? I do want to make sure you're fine.
I just want to make sure all five were voted against both bills. That's all. Okay,
all right.
Thank you.
Cherie, you got that?
I do, and they did not. So we definitely want to circle back.
Okay, let's circle back. Okay, Delegate Metzger.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have to tell you that, in 7 years, I've been in 3 committees, and I've absolutely fell in love with this committee. I hope you've fallen in love with me as much as I have you.
But, I love you all.
But I'm
equally.
Oh, yeah. But I'm very curious. How did they come up with the 3.9 billion? You might know the question answer. Or,
That's a federal question. You're going to have to ask the new president of the United States as vice president and congressional delegation. But I do know this, that, I'm going to say with great pride, because I did work on the Hill at some point in time, we have a great congressional delegation. We really do. And in particular, I will point to the leadership of Steny Hoyer in the House, and of course, Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen, Senator Van Hollen on the Senate side. Senator Van Hollen was on the Appropriations Committee when I came to Annapolis, and they are really, really incredible representatives for our state, and I will say did a great job for Maryland. And by the way, the 3.9 is not all we're getting. That's what the state got.
Right.
School districts, there's more housing money that's coming in, more transportation money that will be coming. It's a very important to know that there's other pockets of money that will be coming into the state that are targeted to specific issues, mainly housing, transportation, so on and so forth. But the governor did a great job. His staff was terrific to work with in these negotiations, and so was the Senate.
I have to be honest. Yesterday we had a conference with Dutch Ruppersberger for the mail in Dundalk, and we've worked very well together. And I just they got a
great team. Delegate Novotny.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a similar question on 133 to make sure I was recorded in the negative on 133. So I'll stop by or ask your staff.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Delegate Haynes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will, in all honesty, tell you that I don't have a question.
Oh.
but I do have a comment that I can make into a question. But I just wanted to just recognize, first of all, I've served on this committee for now is 18 years, and I have never been in a budget cycle and seen the great opportunities to do some of the things that we've been able to do in this budget cycle. We are all in a crisis and with the global pandemic, and through crisis, it creates opportunity. But it takes real leadership to harness those opportunities for the good of the people we represent in the state of Maryland. And Madam Chair, I just want to tell you that we appreciate your leadership in harnessing those opportunities in this particular budget and helping to set the priorities of the state. I have never seen what we've been able to do in this budget. And in those 18, 19 years have seen deficits approaching $3 billion for 3 or 4 consecutive years when we were not able to do anything. And so this is just really dynamic, and thank you for your leadership and your stewardship with what we've been able to do in this budget. And so I just want to give you a good shout out, Madam Chair, on Good Friday.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Delegate Beitzel.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question.
Sure.
I was on the appropriation when Norman Conway was here, and he used to chart in his office, and he had a chart in there that with the deficit and the projected income and stuff. But he had one year when everyone in the appropriations voted for the budget during the Ehrlich administration before I was here. And I'm thinking that he would brag about there was one year, I think, did everyone in the House floor vote for that budget also?
Right. I think so. It's his first year.
04.
1 year.
Yeah.
2004.
Time ever happened. Maybe we can get it to happen this year.
It'd be great because I tell you, this is a very conservative budget. When you look at all the monies we replenished to the rainy day fund and to all those accounts that we borrowed from, in particular for the Relief Act. I mean, that's what makes this budget really a quite conservative budget. The other piece I think is really good about this budget is we were able to create more space for our capital budget, which we will be having come out to the floor next week. And I don't know when the conference committee report's coming out on this, but I think it will be either today or Monday. But you know, we created space for capital projects. And by the way, and the governor was very much a part and party to this. And why is that important in a year like this? I mean, I always say it, and I truly mean it. Capital dollars means jobs. Capital dollars equals jobs. And so we have created opportunities for jobs all across the state with this capital budget. And Delegate Barnes, who's the chair of that subcommittee, of that committee, and Delegate Chang are due a great deal of kudos for the work they did on that capital budget. We started out this year with this many capital dollars, and it grew to almost 400 million. And that's because the help we got coming down from the federal government. It's because of the work we did with the administration and with the Senate. I mean, sitting down together and saying, we have an opportunity. We don't want to spend all this money. We want to use this money to recover our economy. And Delegate Beitzel, I believe that this budget, the reserves will cover the next 2 years in terms of any deficit that they have, so that this governor and all of us will be able to leave this term saying we paid down the deficit, not just this year, but the year following. I don't remember that ever being done. Delegate Resnick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to add to the kudos since we're all doing it. I think what's also really important, and you've said this in a couple of different ways, and it's important to highlight that, and this was something that was mentioned by Secretary Brinkley when we were in conference, that we need to be careful of the hangover. And one of the things that is really incredible about this budget, not just that we are able to use all this money to replenish our funds and to meet our needs and to deal with the pandemic, that we've also created a path that is responsible, as you said, very conservative budget that allows us to not have to have a hangover after this money is gone, that we are on a path to maintain responsibility moving forward, even past this. And I think that's an incredible thing to do. And kudos to you and the leadership team for realizing that and making sure that we stay that way.
I mean, $300 million for broadband in the state. Unbelievable. I mean, there should not be a house anywhere in rural, suburban, or urban Maryland that doesn't have the ability to connect when we're through. And that, by the way, sets us up for the economy that's coming to our state, which is going to be much more digital and much more virtual. Well, listen, we've thanked each other enough and patted each other on the back enough. I can't thank you any more than I have for this budget, and we'll have kudos next week for the Capitol team. So thank you, and we'll see you on the floor, okay?